AI, you have let me down. My PlayStations are more expensive for this shit.
I mean, my PlayStations are.
We are not going to panic.
Look at this guy, he's a giant robot.
Shut the fuck up when grown men's is crying.
Great idea! Great idea!
What am I, a fucking magician, man?
Am I some kind of fucking magician, man?
An icosahedron.
I icosahedron every day.
Sometimes twice a day.
Captain James T. Kirk once said, "May the force be with you."
What the heck even happened to you, man? Time to big brain.
What is the airwolf of trains?
Greetings, shellheads. Welcome to episode 159 of the Blockbrothers Show, the podcast where we review a random episode of a different classic television series on each episode of this very podcast. I'm one of your hosts, Christopher Siege.
And I'm your other host, NeoCal. Hello.
We're back.
Oh, we're back.
We've been on a bit of a hiatus. This podcast has been taken a few months off now. I think the last episode came out in May. Some stuff happened in between there.
That's
Cal,
right, including, go ahead.
Cal went on vacation to Japan for nearly a month. And when he came back, we thought it was a good time since, you went to Japan, figured it was a good time to jump back into our other podcast, Too Much Energon, where we were and are currently discussing the second Japanese Beast Wars anime, Beast Wars Neo.
That's right.
Trip to Japan, perfect time to cover Beast Wars Neo on Too Much Energon. Recorded a few episodes of that, and then, I got COVID, and then went on a camping trip, but we're back. So I figure what we're going to do now, it's the month of August of 2026. Figure what we're going to do now is alternate month to month between this show and Too Much Energon. So for the month of August, we'll do a block of the Blockbrothers Show. The month of September, 30th anniversary of Beast Wars, do Too Much Energon. Come back for the 5th annual Shocktober theme of this podcast in October, where we talk about horror-themed shows, and then back to Too Much Energon in November.
Damn.
So month
Are
to
there
month.
even enough scary TV shows left for us to review?
Oh, there sure are.
Oh, there are.
There's a Scream TV series.
I forgot about that.
There's a Scream TV series, and I had some ideas for a couple of others, but I'm kind of drawing a blank on them right now. But we can talk about that later on. So yeah, we're back here on the Blockbrothers Show. This month on the Blockbrothers Show, the month, as I mentioned, August 2026. We are doing a programming block that I've been talking about doing for probably about 3 years now, maybe. And we're calling it the Marvel Action Block. Mostly cartoons from the 1990s Marvel Action Hour programming block, which was Iron Man from 1994 to 1996, Fantastic Four from 94 to 96, The Incredible Hulk from 96 to 97, and something to tack on the end there is the Silver Surfer from 1998, which was a very good show. Only lasted one season, but
I always am like, I never watched this. And then the intro pops in, and I'm like, oh, wait, this sounds familiar.
yeah. If anyone's wondering, as we talk about, we're like, hey, we're going to talk about Marvel cartoons from the 90s, and you're just like, what? What about X-Men? What about Spider-Man? We already covered those shows.
That's right.
Here on the
What about
Block
X-Men? What about Spider-Man? At least one in iteration, if not multiple.
Yeah. Here on the Blockbrothers show, one of our rules, since we're coming back from a bit of a hiatus, figure I'll get into the rules. What we do here on the Blockbrothers show is we review a random episode of a different TV show on each episode of the podcast. The episode is chosen by random number generator at the end of each episode of the podcast. Now, there are some rules to the shows that we cover. First, the shows have to be canceled or ended in some way, so nothing that's currently airing. Shows have to be narrative based, so no
Game shows,
no game shows, no reality shows, no pro wrestling,
no documentaries,
no documentaries. Yeah. So it has to be narrative based. And the third and final rule is we never do do-overs. We only do a show once.
Yeah.
So although I feel like X-Men and Spider-Man are kind of ubiquitous with 90s Marvel cartoons, we've already covered them in the past. Go back further in this feed a few years. You'll find those episodes. We've already covered them in the past, so they don't fit with here. So here,
I know. Think of how much money we'd have if we just did Manimal.
If we just did Manimal.
Or how many views we'd have if we just did Manimal covers.
Yeah, I know, right?
Anyone wondering what the hell we're talking about? Our Manimal
review, which was a long time ago now. It was like 4 years ago.
Has an unusual, like by a magnitude of
thousands of percents.
Yeah, like a magnitude of I don't even know how to measure it. But like, yes, thousands of percents higher download rate than anything else. I always say it's because of McCorkindale's face in the thumbnail.
Yeah, I know, the legend himself, main character on this podcast, Simon.
That's right.
Yes, I have no delusions about the viewership of this podcast. We don't get a ton of views, especially on YouTube. We get more audio downloads on this and Too Much Energon, on a probably like 4-to-1 ratio.
Except for that one.
But for whatever reason, the Manimal review of that we did on this podcast years ago, for whatever reason, that one has like thousands of views and thousands of likes. Hasn't translated into any like longevity in terms of viewership, but well, what are you gonna do?
It's very weird too. Not like in the first month and then they died down, but like going back after years, over time, it has like,
oh, it's still pop.
When's the last time I looked? And then the views have like doubled, and I'll be like, did anybody even watch Manimal? Are they just clicking because of the funny face on the thumbnail?
Probably. Well, I can see analytics for all of the content on both the YouTube channel and like the audio feeds. I can see all kinds of analytics. I don't bother really looking at them much anymore, honestly.
Yeah.
But I used to be really interested in that years ago. And Manimal still like pops up in like one of the most like engaged videos on our channel, like in terms of like current like viewership. That was as of like a few months ago when I last looked, but it was still in like the top 5.
Secret sauce. The secret sauce passed down from Grandpa McCorkindale himself.
Yeah, rip in peace.
Yeah.
legend. So yeah, as I mentioned, month of August on the Blockbrothers show, the Marvel action block. Why are we talking about Marvel now? Because Spider-Man just came out. Or as I like to call it, Supida-Man, brand new boy.
Brand new boy.
Spider-Man,
That boy.
Spider-Man, brand new day just came out. Still haven't seen it.
Remember that stupid meme? Remember that boy? Yeah, I heard it's good. So
Spider-Man,
yeah, we're
Spider-Man just came out. Made billions, literally. It made like nearly $1 billion at like the worldwide box office in its opening weekend. The money that
whenever I think I have something figured out, it's like,
Yes.
hey, how about the fourth Spider-Man with Tom Holland?
Yes.
The fourth one is the runaway. Like usually there's a tapering, or maybe like the second one's the biggest one, and then like a
Well,
tapering.
the last one made like $2 billion at the box office. The last one was a monster too.
Yeah, I wonder why. Maybe just more people have disposable income.
No, God, no.
No,
You
no,
heard the news.
definitely
People are
not that.
struggling right now.
Yeah. So what? Maybe
Xboxes
it's
are
just-
$1,000.
Wild. I out of principle, I refuse.
Yeah, I don't know. I can't really put my finger on it either, other than just people like Spider-Man. People really love Spider-Man.
That's what I was gonna say.
Spider-Man
I guess
is
people
like-
just like Spider-Man, huh?
Spider-Man is like the ultimate 4-quadrant superhero property. And by 4-quadrant, it means basically it appeals to every demographic: young, old, male, female. That's putting things in kind of binary terms.
Yeah,
but
I guess.
But yeah, Spider-Man is like the ultimate like 4-quadrant like superhero property out there. So anyway, Spider-Man just came out. It's doing gangbusters. I wouldn't be surprised if it ends up becoming. I mean, it hasn't even. We're only on its second weekend now, and I'm kind of curious to see on Sunday morning like what this weekend's box office is going to look like. I wouldn't be surprised if this thing like starts like giving Avatar a run for its money for like highest grossing movie of all time. Calling it now.
Well, shit.
Because what the hell else is coming out this summer?
The Way of Water,
No, the first Avatar is still the
Fire, the Fire one. What's the next one? Earth, Wind. How many are there supposed to be?
I think James Cameron's been talking about five Avatar movies. But
Holy shit! So there's
that-
two more coming out.
that last one actually like severely underperformed over
really?
compared to the last two. Oh yeah, the first Avatar is still like the highest grossing movie of all time,
Yeah.
sitting at like nearly 3 billion. The second one made like 2.5 billion, and the third one only made like 1.3 billion only. But compared to the first two, its box office took a bit of a nosedive. And
Even with the hot evil Fire Navi.
I'm sure that trend is probably going to continue.
And the next one's going to make 500,000.
The next one is going to make a buck or two.
A buck or two. But then there's going to be a Chinese release with a Chinese main character cut. And it's going to make $4 billion in China. Just like the Transformers movies.
No, that's not really much of a thing anymore. That was very true in like the 2010s.
Yeah.
China is actually becoming very. China is really like kind of put a stranglehold, like they always did have kind of a stranglehold. The amount,
and they
of,
had
like,
very heavy
the amount
what's it called, commission. Yeah,
the amount of American films they would actually allow into Chinese cinemas.
Yeah, it was limited. Yeah,
it's always been limited. It's even more limited now.
I didn't know that.
Back in the 2010, back in the like early to mid 2010s, like a lot of Hollywood studios were kind of getting around this by entering into a co-production deal with Chinese production companies. Iron
Yeah.
Man, and usually what that would result in is there's some kind of subplot involving a Chinese character or the country of China itself.
Yeah.
Even Iron Man 3 did this. A couple of those Transformers movies did this. It was a thing for a while. It's not a thing anymore, though.
What I'm saying is, yes, you can set it on Pandora, or you can set it in Shanghai,
Shangri-La.
in Shangri-La. Didn't what was it? It was I think it was like Aquaman made most of its money from the Chinese like audience.
Probably, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, for a while there, especially back in the 2010s, you would look at the box office numbers for movies and it would be like, oh, it made like 300 and something million in the US. You know, that's a pretty respectable like hit for a blockbuster. But then you look at international like box office and it's like 800 and something $1 million, and like half of that is from China.
And half of it. Yeah, and you're like,
Yeah.
holy shit.
Yeah. Yeah, that's not as definitely not as much of a thing now though as it used to be. So I wonder if maybe Avatar 3's declining box office I wonder if that might be a factor in that.
That's what I'm saying. The next one, there's Avatar Way of Fire, Avatar Something of Water. The next one needs to be like Avatar The Way of Honor, and have like a Chinese main character. Holy shit. $1 trillion.
Avatar Bamboo and Emerald.
And Jade.
Oh, Jade. There we go.
There we go. Avatar, the Jade Empire.
The Jade Empire.
And they're coming for unobtainium and jade. And they need to fight off the Western humans coming into Pandora's Forbidden City.
And it stars a mo-capped Chow Yun Fat.
Holy shit. And
Michelle Yeoh.
Navi. Yeah, there you go. License to print money. Game over.
And Fang Binbin.
I don't even. Chow Yun Fat, is he alive? Let's find out. There's someone I haven't heard of.
That's her name,
in
right?
like
Fang Binbin.
Yeah, Fang.
For Fang Bingbing.
Chow Yun Fat. Oh yeah, he's alive. His spouse was born the same year as me. My dude, come on.
And he's got to be what, like 65?
71.
Oh, well, there you have it.
I
folks.
just learned Chow Yun Fat's still alive. Thanks for listening to our movie podcast.
Well, with all of that out of the way, this week on the Blockbrothers show, we are talking about which episode is it? I think it's the 15th episode overall.
15.
We didn't have a programming block lined up when the show took a hiatus back in May, so we didn't actually roll an episode on air at the end of the previous episode like we normally do. But just for the sake of transparency. So I earlier this week rolled an episode, went to the random number generator off camera and rolled an episode, and what I landed on on my probably third attempt was the 15th episode overall, the second episode of season 2, Fire and Rain, which originally aired on September 30th of 1995, and it was written by the late great Len Wein. Now, Len Wein was a pretty prolific comic book writer. I believe, did he create Wolverine? Yes, he created Wolverine, and he created Swamp Thing.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, he wrote the comic book, Incredible Hulk number 181. That was the first appearance of Wolverine.
I always forget that.
So this episode of Iron Man actually has some prestige to it. And indeed, well, I'll get into the writing in a little bit, but there was another tangent I was going to go on. but well,
Firebrand.
I can't. Oh, I was gonna say the reason why I redid a few roles was because I wanted to land in a season 2 episode. Because the thing about this cartoon, because I used to watch this back in the day, the thing about this cartoon and the Fantastic Four cartoon is they both went through production overhauls after the first season, and the second seasons are noticeably like higher, have better animation and better music. So I wanted to make sure that we landed on a second season episode
Hell yeah.
for this. And indeed, when we get to the end of this episode and are rolling to see what episode of Fantastic Four we're going to talk about, I'm going to keep rolling until we land on a season 2 episode.
Just how it is.
It's just how it is.
Basically random.
Basically random. But you know, we can fix the we can rig the game a little bit in our
That's
favor.
Right.
So
Rerolls.
we are. We don't make the rules.
That's
Except
right.
we do. There are no rules.
First rule about pod crafting. There are no rules.
Buckle up, motherfucker.
Second rule about podcasting. It's more entertaining if you don't do it alone.
That's true. Have you ever listened to one-person podcasts? They're pretty
I
boring.
listen to like long form YouTube videos where people like are dissecting like a TV show or like a theme or something like that.
It's not too bad because those are usually accompanied by video and are usually running off of a script.
Oh yeah, and they're scripted, yeah.
Yeah.
But so no, when it comes to just podcasting, I can't imagine just it's why I feel awkward when I try to stream by myself.
Right.
Like whether it's like here, Dork Tales, wherever I've like recorded things, it's fine. But then like when I'm like streaming, I'm like, oh, hey, is that a bot? Is that a person? Hey, how's it going?
Dork Tales,
Am I talking to myself?
Dork Tales, another place you can find Cal. Go check them out. Twitch.tv.
I play Dungeons and Dragons.
Twitch.tv/DorkTales.
But I want to stream more. Just need to get into it. I'm not used to talking to myself. That's what
I would like to do more stuff like we did for that Too Much Energon holiday special where we played video game. I would like to do more stuff like that.
That was pretty good, yeah.
Yeah, that didn't turn out too bad.
I like unlocked the Matrix and like beat the first the first level somehow.
So maybe we can brainstorm a project in that vein somehow.
Yeah. All right. So getting into it.
Episode opens with James Rhodes, Rhodey. They call him Jimmy throughout the episode, which I found kind of weird because I've never known Rhodey to be known as Jimmy.
Yeah, I'm like, who's Jimmy? Am I missing something? Is Jimmy the name of the Dr. Manhattan hologram? Oh no, that's Homer. Okay.
It's Homer, yeah. Homer actually is Tony Stark's Iron Man AI from the comics.
Mm-hmm. Take that, Jarvis.
Yeah, the concept was like reinterpreted to be Jarvis in the movies, but in the comics it was actually Homer.
And not only that, he's actually a sentient AI, whereas Jarvis just kind of feels like a program.
Yeah.
In the movies, in like the 2000s and like recent like movies. But in this, he's like got sass and like has like a physical form he depicts himself as. He even like has holograms. Like he'll come out of the screen where he's displayed.
Mm-hmm.
Or he'll like project himself flying alongside like Iron Man at times.
I was kind of getting Vision vibes from it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like them.
So Rhodey,
I almost wonder if like Homer from this show was kind of more of the inspiration for Vision.
Could be.
Maybe.
So Yeah, so Rhodey, I'm going to keep calling him Rhodey because that's his nickname.
Yeah.
I refuse to call him Jimmy.
Jimmy. Yeah, it feels weird.
So Rhodey is flying around in his War Machine armor, and he's having some banter back and forth with Julia Carpenter, who she's not in costume in this episode, but she's normally one iteration of Spider-Woman. Probably the most famous one that you might know of, the one in like the black like suit with like the big hair and like the white spider on her chest. Yeah, that's this chick.
That's her?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't. Okay.
Yeah,
Huh.
sometimes she's known as Spider, like the third Spider Woman, and sometimes she's known as Arachne. But yeah, Julia Carpenter.
Arachne, yeah. Oh,
That's
okay, interesting.
That's who this character is. She's voiced by the great
Oh.
Jennifer Hale.
Mm-hmm.
Very recognizable Jennifer Hale. And she's having some banter back and forth with Rhodey as he's flying around. And something about this character that bothered me almost right out of the gate is there's a fine line between having banter with someone and kind of just being a dick.
Bullying.
And
Yeah.
I feel like she crosses that line throughout this episode multiple times. She's
Towards who?
Towards Rhodey.
Multiple. Here's the thing. I think Tony crosses the line into bullying Rhodey multiple times in the episode. And I'll point out when we get to there, but I'm like, why are they kind of being cunts
to Rhodey?
Yeah, like you're fucking welcome. It is also just because you're paying somebody doesn't mean you get to be a dick to them. I know, hard to fucking believe, contrary to reality. Tony even says something like cuntish like later on. It was like, oh, watch it, I still signed I'm still the man that signs your checks.
Well, like, I didn't take it that way. I didn't. He was saying that in jest.
I don't know.
Yeah, he was saying that in jest because like they had just gone through they had just gone through like some shit together, and
he wakes up and he's like, "Oh, am I glad to see your ugly mug?" Yeah.
He's like, "Hey, careful, watch what you say. You can't, don't go dying on me here. I still sign the checks around here." He was being playful about it.
Yeah,
I thought.
Yeah. So yeah, it's opening with redhead, spider Arachne woman being a dick to Rhodey over
being a dick to Rhodey. She's giving some sort of demonstration about at like some base about she's supposedly giving like some kind of demonstration of like some defense system that they call Goliath.
So there in Goliath is this AI defense system that automatically presumably uses some sort of like AI that has like a friend or foe recognition.
Yeah.
And it's like, look, that's not firing on War Machine, even though it's tracking him like expertly, and all these like war leaders or like political leaders,
a couple
generals and stuff are kind of like, And then in the distance, there is like a my brain's shutting off a power plant. There we go. I was going to say energy station, Energon station that blows up.
An Energon facility.
An Energon facility is destroyed. Sounds like an RTS voice line. Energon facility destroyed. So what this happens?
Viacons ready.
Viacons ready. And then when you move them, they go roll out. Roll out. Viacon. Writes itself.
Roll out.
Oh, that's what you
roll out.
So the power goes off.
It's a great
song. Goliath. It is a good song. But Goliath doesn't shut off. What happens is, maybe you can help me clear this up, it goes red because that's always the sign that something either doesn't have enough power or has been hacked. And now it doesn't have enough energy to, it goes into like defensive or lockdown mode. I watched it today. I just can't remember the exact terminology, but there are a few things that are logically inconsistent in the show, and I hand wave them away. I can't remember the exact terminology, but basically it's like, oh,
generally, if you see
it's going to defend itself.
Generally, if you see any kind of light or laser or whatever on a computer and it changes to red,
you're in trouble.
Look out.
Yeah. And she's like, holy shit, Goliath just went red. And Rhodey's like, what are you talking about? And then this defense platform begins firing on War Machine.
It starts firing on him, and he's like, Julia, what are you doing? Is this because I didn't pick up the tab at lunch?
Okay, that, as he's like dodging and like kind of like blocking like some of them, that's pretty funny. That was the first line in the show where I was like, okay, wait, maybe there's something.
I alluded to the writing earlier, and there's some quips in this episode that I think are actually like pretty good.
Yeah, is this because I didn't pick up the tab for lunch?
My favorite one is toward the end of the episode when Rhodey saves Tony, and I'll mention that later on.
Oh, nice. What ends up happening is it can't destroy his suit, but it ends up shooting and pinning him to a wall above a ravine, a cliff. And he goes to like activate like some sort of shield or adaptation, and it shoots his hand, because a lot of the things come out of the hands in Iron Man, and it seems to disable his suit, and he falls into the river.
Mm-hmm.
The systems can't reroute themselves because he's just been fired upon by like a whole base. And he's sinking deeper and deeper into this like flooded quarry or river or something like that. And he's like, no, gotta hold on, not like this. And he has like a flashback of him losing somebody close to him. Is it his brother or
it's his brother? Yeah.
And I think it was his younger brother, and he's being swept up because of a flood or something like that. And he's reaching out to him with a stick, and he's like, hey, quick, grab on. And it kind of gives us this scene where he's remembering his younger brother presumably dying due to drowning, and him being unable to save him.
Yeah.
I'm like, holy shit, what a first 5 minutes for a kid show.
He definitely, his like brother definitely did die, because like later on when Rhodey is like on the verge of drowning, he's like, no, it can't end like this, not like my little brother or whatever.
Yeah. And just as he's about to, also when the suit malfunctions, it shows water coming in through like where the eyes are and stuff. And I'm like, guys, you got to make these watertight. What are you doing? That comes up later too.
Well, I think it's because because the eye holes are open in their armor on this show. And indeed, that is a thing from the comics, like back in the day. The whole like plain like white thing didn't come like until later.
That was us getting used to the CG like marvelization of how masks looked. Whereas the way it used to be is they were more like, even if they fully covered the face, domino masks, I think that's the term, are meant to show a little bit of humanity.
Well, domino masks are the ones like Robin wears.
Oh, very specific. Right. And they're supposed to show your eye color and your eyes a bit, right?
Iron Man specifically in like the Silver Age comics, like his eyes were visible. The plain like white like lights wasn't a thing that started until like the 80s.
And we get you can tell who's wearing what in this. You can see they're like around the eyes. You can
Yeah.
see it's Rhodey in there.
So what I'm going to imagine is that when the suit has power, it has like some kind of shielding, like some kind of
That's
like
what
airtight shielding. So when the suit doesn't have power, all of a sudden water starts leaking.
like energy fields. Also, Tony is like, oh, like ocean adaptation. And it seems to have an AI or nano machine or something where it can reroute power from the deflection, reroute power in certain ways from the is there a deflector disc? No, reroute
No, there's
power
no
from
deflector dish, but later on in the episode, Tony mentions because his suit gets depleted, the energy in the suit gets depleted due to a run-in with the villain that will be introduced to later, Firebrand. But he's like reroute auxiliary power from the weapons to the thrusters.
right, so he can continue flying. Yeah.
Which is cool. I
So
like stuff like
kind
that.
of like I kind of like that. Also, he's not like immortal. Like the idea of like that they have a great but limited power source is very like 90s, right? Like Game Boy Color came out in 98, 90. I don't remember, but like, or the Sega Game Gear used 8 like double A like batteries, but it had like
6.
an hour worth. Was
It
it
was
6?
It was 6.
It had like an hour, I swear, like an hour's worth, if that, of like usage. So it feels very like, here's Iron Man. He has like lasers, he can fly. His suit can have a force field around it so he can go underwater or go in space, but it lasts an hour depending on what you're doing or how much damage you take or like whatever. I kind of like that.
Yeah, I feel like the having to like increase his like energy shielding, and the show doesn't go into this at all. This is just kind of like me like headcanoning.
Yeah.
Later on when Firebrand attacks him and engulfs him in flames, to keep from like cooking alive inside that suit, his suit has to like increase the energy to the shields around it, and in doing so it depletes all of his energy reserves because Firebrand's energy is so powerful.
Yeah, and he's like, oh, initiate like firefighter like protocols, and it actually has like water nozzles, like the suit actually changes, and then all of a sudden he's like immune to the fire. So like a more rudimentary kind of like Borg adaptation.
I was reading that apparently Iron Man's suit being able to change on the fly like that, and like metamorph instead of like him just putting on like separate suits of armor. That was something that was invented for the second season of this cartoon, and then ended up becoming a thing in the comics and then the MCU.
Hell yeah. I like that.
So go season 2 of fucking 90s Iron Man cartoon for introducing a concept that has been used in Iron Man lore ever since.
I like that. Yeah. Kind of like the use a bunch of energy, but like change and like make an adaptation on the fly. I like that. All right. It was here first.
Yeah.
We only get to see a little. It's kind of like the firefighting one and then like the underwater one.
Yeah.
But it does change forms a bit. Like it adds a like those water tank kind of like things for like the water. But for the fire, when he's underwater, I think it adds what are those things what are the things that push things through water? Not rotor. Oh my god, my brain.
Oars?
Rotor? Or my brain shut off here. But yeah, the little spinny thing that makes the thing go through the water. God damn it! This is why I'm not Iron Man.
That's a rotor, right?
Yeah. So we cut after a commercial, and it shows Rhodey recovering in like a hospital facility. Maybe it's in Stark Industries. He's got his own infirmary or whatever. And he's like, oh, come on, man. It's like, oh, I can't have you dying. And it seems like he's worried about him dying, but he's just wearing like civilian clothes, like a t-shirt and pants, and he's just lying there. And I'm like, if he was in a life or death situation, wouldn't there be like doctors, nurses seeing to him? So he's sitting there being like, oh, can't let like one of my best friends die. Like, what's the point of having all this power if I can't even keep my friends alive?
Yeah, what's the
And
point
then he
of being
like,
well, and then they have that exchange where
and then
he's
he
like,
like
"Hey,
wakes up and he's like, wow, you're alive. And I'm like, how was that life or death? He wasn't connected to anything. He was just resting.
here's where we have the line where he's like, "Oh, I can't have you listen, I can't have you dying on me now. I still sign the checks around here, all right?" And then Julia Carpenter walks in and she's like, "Well, not for long. If word of Goliath going haywire gets out, public perception about Stark Enterprises will be even uglier than Rhodey."
Yeah.
And I'm like, that's where I'm like, okay, so there's a fine line between like playful banter and just kind of being a cunt to someone.
I
like like that
maybe we landed on a weird episode, but like
maybe
there it like also he didn't take a jab at her.
yeah.
Like it's out of nowhere. Also, he just woke up from a short-term like
from
coma.
from like a potential like near death experience, and your first thing you say is to fucking take a jab at him.
Stark Industries is dropping 5 points. The Dow Jones might not recover until after this weekend. Or they don't talk like that, but that's what I imagine her talking like when she's like, oh, Stark Industries, if this ever gets out. So I'm gonna yada yada a bunch of stuff. There's a lot of them talking.
Yep.
There's a lot of them inside of like a computer complex, kind of like the Stark Batcave.
Yeah.
And they're talking to Homer. And they're trying to figure out, wait a second, who could have like done this? And like, why would they do that?
Well, and so what happens is after the weird like scene of Julia just like insulting the
When Rhodey's
near,
back up. Yeah.
nearly deceased Rhodey Rhodes. When he's back up on his feet, there's like a news report of this character named Firebrand who looks like a kind of great value
Forgot about the
hobgoblin,
news.
or it's like a spirit Halloween hobgoblin from like Spider-Man,
But red instead of
but red
of
instead of
green.
orange.
Or hobgoblin, yeah.
Hobgoblin,
orange.
yeah, he's orange, yeah.
Oh, because of the little
Yeah, because of the
hood.
face and
Yeah.
like the hood with like the like curve.
So red
curved
hobgoblin is like, I can't figure.
So he takes credit for, because like something happened. I can't remember what. Something happens. Some sort of like disaster happens. He takes credit for it and is like, "Oh, I am evil and I'm going to keep doing evil things unless you do something. I'm going to destroy everything."
Do you know what the thing is? Do you remember?
No, it's very.
He's like, unless you wire me. This is why it seems like he wants justice. But here's the thing, and it reminds me of Austin Powers, and he's like, the city will be mine, and out if I'm not given my demands by midnight, my demands of $10 million. And I'm like, even in 1994 money, presumably Tony Stark is a billionaire.
Yeah.
$10 million is like what he might lose on a random investment that he doesn't care about. Like 10 million compared to a billion.
Yeah.
So I find it really funny. And again, it's of the times. I'm sure that was infinite money in 1994. But that's so fucking funny to me. And he's like, the city will be mine unless you pay me $10 million. And I'm like, that's it? I feel like you could ransom this city for like 25, 50 mil, maybe.
I mean, you see I remember like crime movies from and like heist films and whatnot from like the 90s, and like usually like what the villains were trying to get off with was just a few $1,000,000.
Oh, those are just dudes robbing a bank. Yeah, that's a ton for normal Joes. But this is holding city hostage money, is what I'm
Right.
saying. Yeah. So
Okay.
Firebrand.
Okay, I'm gonna Google this. Uh
Oh, are we
buying
doing
power
inflation translate?
calculator. Buying power calculator. Okay,
Watch me
here we
be
go.
wrong, and it's like $1 trillion in 2026 money.
Reference year. We'll use 1994.
1994
10.
USD.
That is the buying power of $21.53 million US nowadays. That's still a fucking lot of money.
I guess
But I
that's
mean,
a lot of money for like a single dude. Now, see, I thought this guy was ahead of like, like Joker even has like a bunch of like goons. He's got some sort of like structure, right? Now, we cut to him giving a speech about justice, and I actually like this speech. Cuts to a warehouse, and it zooms in through a broken like window, and he's giving a speech, and it shows people kind of like cheering and like clapping, or
yep.
we hear people clapping and cheering, and he's like, and we need to take back the means of production for the people and remove the power from the corrupt politicians and techno billionaires that run this country. And I'm like, yeah, let's go, man. Actually, he's got me like riled up. And then the camera zooms out, and there's nobody in the warehouse, and there's a boom box playing a cassette tape.
Yeah.
Playing like the equivalent of a laugh track, playing like clapping and cheering. And he takes a remote and he points it and he turns it off, and he's like,
You know what
And so I'm like, is he crazy?
No, it's all smoke and mirrors. You know what this guy's whole deal kind of reminded me of, honestly, was Mysterio in Spider-Man Far From Home.
Oh,
That's kind of what
I
this,
can see that.
like, without the like dead father revenge plot that factors into
Yeah.
this. This whole deal like kind of reminds me of Mysterio from Spider-Man Far From Home. Because
Like he's not as dangerous as he's making himself out to be.
Mysterio's whole thing is smoke and mirrors. He was motivated by a vendetta against Tony Stark because he feels like Stark had wronged him somehow. And his whole like thing was to he was doing it like under the guise of like trying to like help people and like power to the people, like fuck the billionaires. But what it really came down to was he just had a
Right.
personal vendetta against Tony Stark and was using
I
like
wanted Mysterio
was using like was manipulating public perception
to go
uh
against Stark.
to go against Stark.
And he was
Yeah.
actually just selfish.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's where that movie fell flat for me, is I actually kind of wanted him to actually kind of be a bit of a good guy. Like he has those moments with Pete,
Yeah.
right?
And,
Like where it's
and
like a mentor. And I feel like, I don't know,
and
they
that
kind of just threw that all away.
And what it turned out that he was kind of leading this like secret cabal of like former like Stark employees who were all felt like jilted by Tony Stark somehow.
Yeah, but instead of them wanting to make something better, correct me if I'm wrong, they just wanted revenge.
They just wanted revenge. They just wanted to ruin Tony Stark and to
See,
get money.
doesn't that falls flat for me?
Yeah.
Like I wish it was a society of people that wanted to use technology, but they're just greedy. They just want money.
Yeah.
And
They want to ruin Tony Stark and they want his money.
I felt like it was almost a really good like plot hook.
Well, Well, and the thing in that movie is like they all have legitimate grievances.
Yeah.
Like they do have legitimate grievances, so you kind of want to be on their side, but it's like they're still dicks and they're still like doing
But
bad
then
shit.
you don't really care about them because they're actually just selfish and
Yeah, that's what I mean. That's what I'm
yeah.
saying. Is like they have legitimate grievances, but they're also just kind of dicks too. Like just be
Yeah, like Mysterio's like last
broken
he
clock is
uses the
right twice
last
a day.
yeah, and so you almost feel for them and then you're like, "Oh, no, you guys are just dicks that Tony has what you want." want.
It's like
Like he has more money than you.
you guys have a point. So I'll give you that, but you still suck.
Yeah. And it really ticked me off that instead of any point of redemption, Mr. Mysterio himself uses his like last dying moments to expose Pete's real identity.
To frame him for everything.
Oh, sorry. Not only expose his real identity, use that illusion like technology to frame him.
Yeah.
Like he doesn't learn anything in the and he's gonna die. What he's like, I'm gonna make this genuinely good child's life miserable. Ugh, I can die at
Because
rest.
he's the villain. It
I
does
know, but
track. It tracks. He's the bad guy.
I wanted him to be like show some remorse or some maybe that's just the corny like PG-13 like part of me where I wanted him to see that he was wrong about something. But no, he doubles down. He's like, with my dying breath, I frame thee,
Yeah.
Peter Parker.
I see what you're saying.
You, dude. What
and
a cunt.
I think that works with some villains, but also the just like in the end going out being a fucking prick. Like that also works for some villains too. I think it worked for Mysterio.
It did, because I'm still thinking about him.
A villain like Doc Ock, like being redeemed in the end, that works.
20 years later, hell
20
yeah,
years
it does.
later. No, I loved Doc
too.
Ock's redemption in that. Because it was always tragic in Spider-Man 2, because like he was genuinely a good guy.
Yeah.
And it was tragic that the AI from his tentacles corrupted him and kind of drove him insane. So the fact that like he was able to like get better essentially, like in Spider-Man No Way Home, that was great. We spent a lot of time talking about Spider-Man.
We did. All right, let's get back.
Spider-Man No Way Home.
It's because of how comics have been doing for 50, 60, 50 years, then moved into the mainstream for movies. But like the Marvel, like characters interacting with each other are so intuitive of talking about the world that it's like kind of hard to escape.
Well, and indeed, especially those Tom Holland Spider-Man movies, Iron Man plays a big part in those. Not so much the third one, but the first two.
That's probably why and also Firebrand being like, haha, like I'm this revolutionary. Yeah. Actually, I just want $10 million and to kill Tony.
Yeah.
Same thing. I'm like, oh, you were almost cool, dude. You had me with the speech, but then you're like, actually, no, I just want to kill this guy.
So they look at it. They find
he wants to do it for his dad.
Homer, Tony's computer, somehow finds a picture of Firebrand without his mask.
So this is hilarious. Okay, so the CSI Enhance thing. I'm going to give it to you real short because I talked about Spider-Man for too long. But this is what happens. They go, hey, I checked all the database. I ran all the background things. The only person that knows our systems in and out would be somebody that worked in Stark Industries. I did background checks on the whole employees. And I'm like, you? Or do you mean Homer? And she's like, they're all like clean. They don't have any like vendettas or criminal.
Every living employee, past and present, of Stark Enterprises.
And Tony's like, oh, well, if you checked every living employee, I think it's time we started to check the dead ones. So they go through and they
By
check
the-
all.
By the
Go
way,
ahead.
real quick, talking about the voices, Tony Stark in this show is voiced by Robert Hayes, who played Stryker in the Airplane movies.
Oh, really?
Yep.
Huh.
And
Never even thought about it.
Rhodey was voiced by Dorian Harewood, who voiced Shredder in TMNT.
I can't tell. Probably because he's not talking about turtles.
Yeah.
He's just using a normal voice. Yeah.
He's just using his normal voice, yeah.
Yeah.
But same voice actor.
And they're like, okay. Now let's interface this with his dead employee. Wait, he's got the same jawline as this guy, but he died 5 years ago. Also, he'd be too old. And they were like, computer, enhance.
There's another
Computer, make him young. And then they go, computer, if he had a son, what would it look? There's some wild, and so essentially they come up with a picture of Firebrand.
During this, there's a very weird moment when they come up with the picture for Firebrand, and
without the mask and everything,
without the mask on, and Rhodey says something along the lines of, "Wow, he's only slightly less ugly," and Julia Carpenter, the one who was just like calling Rhodey ugly earlier, very weirdly, frustratingly says, regardless of that, he's not an employee of Stark Enterprises. It was a really weird delivery from her.
Only I'm allowed to call you ugly.
Yeah, it was so strange.
There's some dialogue in this that's a little strange.
It was a very weird delivery. It's like, where is this frustration coming from?
And they were like, well, wait a second. What if this guy that died, what if he had a son? And what if he told him about some of the technology and some of our protocols before he had died?
So Tony gives this little, after they figure out that Firebrand looks kind of, but not at all, other than they both have red hair, like this older guy, and Tony is like, it's that guy. I remember it like it was yesterday. And we get a flashback. He was like, blah, blah, was a brilliant scientist and a good friend. But, he had a massive gambling problem, and his wife left him and took the kids, and he turned to the bottle and started hitting up the casinos and just got in a little too deep with the loan sharks, and to try and settle his debt, he started embezzling money from the company. He got careless and he got caught, and I had to fire him. I didn't want to do it. He was a good man and a good worker.
I had to fire him, and I'm like, that doesn't sound like a good worker or a good man. That sounds like a huge piece of shit. Also, I really love that embezzling money. In the flashback, it shows him opening a safe and taking out piles of money. I laughed for a minute when I watched this. It shows him in an empty room. There's no furniture or anything. Opening a safe, embezzling money. That's just fucking theft. Embezzling money means that
he might as well have been wearing a domino mask and be carrying a big sack with a dollar sign on it.
So embezzling money is breaking into a safe, grabbing sacks of money, and in the other hand, grabbing bags, presumably like a satchel of money or whatever. And he turned, there's a guard.
Bonds.
Oh, there we go. It was bonds. Yeah, because it's 1990s and they're still fucking printed on paper.
Yeah.
I bet you they still can be. And a guard is like, halt, and is pointing a gun and has a flashlight, and he's like, I'm like, that's not embezzling. That's just theft.
Yeah.
Also bad, but I feel like if he was really a genius, he wouldn't just be sneaking through the facility, stealing money out of a safe. So I
Okay.
laughed when it was like he tried to embezzle money from the company, and I'm like, that's not embezzlement.
To
I
be
thought that
fair, when you
if
were
the writers did that on
when you were
purpose,
8
that's
years
pretty
old
funny.
watching this show, did you even know what the word embezzlement meant?
I knew it was probably
I
meant
certainly
to do
didn't.
something bad with money.
So saying the word embezzling and then just showing
I
a
wouldn't have
dude
caught that
breaking
as an
into a
8-year-old.
safe, breaking
Yeah,
into a safe and stealing money, it connects
8-year-old me
dots.
would not have caught that. So I think that's fucking hilarious. Holt. And so it showed him trying to get revenge.
He ends up dying in a fire somehow. They like the warehouse, because apparently
He's
like Stark HQ is a warehouse, that big empty warehouse that just has a giant safe in it.
Yeah, it shows him later putting a big stereotypical dynamite like switch
Yeah.
like they had in the 1920s, which
Like
forever
very
is the
Wile E.
universal
Coyote.
symbol forever, probably due to earlier cartoons, probably specifically Wile E. Coyote, a big Acme like
Yeah.
dynamite switch. And he blows himself up trying to take down Iron Man. Now, his son became Firebrand and wants to kill Tony Stark and Iron Man to avenge his father.
Yeah.
So when the second conflict happens in the show, what happening is there's a bunch of fires at Stark Industries, but it's meant as a distraction.
Yeah.
And they're like, why? Wait a second. And there's some leaps in logic here. They're like, if he could have taken down more than this, why start just a few fires? He hacked our systems and turned off the fire repellent systems. If he could do that much, why didn't he destroy way more of the facilities? My God. Come on, Rhodey. Gear up. And he's like, where are you going? And he's like, where else? The main power plant of the city. And I'm like,
The city dam or whatever.
it's like somewhere else first. And so he goes there and he literally catches him red-handed. And they have like a showdown where he lights Iron Man on fire.
And this is the scene where like Iron Man is like on fire and it depletes his like energy reserves and whatnot.
Yeah.
And he's like trying to fly away, and Homer is like, "You're running out of power, sir." And he's like, "Divert auxiliary power from the weapons to the flying thrusters."
So what happens is he says something. What's the line? It's like my father always said, it's good to have a plan B. I'm like,
yeah. So the line, I sent this to Cal.
Yeah,
The line,
what was it? It was
the line is, this made me laugh out loud. Firebrand says, "If there's one thing my father's death taught me, it's always have a backup plan."
So for anyone paying attention or that watched this alongside of us, his dad's backup plan was literally
die.
suicidal. His dad,
I guess the backup
trying
plan
to
in this
take
case is not dying.
plan C is doing plan B, but also not dying.
Yeah.
Not dying. But unlike my father, I have a plan C. And I hated that line. It's like, my father taught me anything, it's that I should die. What? Also, plan B is universally known for people whose bank heists fail. It's people taking themselves out during like a heist. So I was like, whoa, dude, that is you had a weird relationship with your father. Also, you're an inventor. You can fly. You can create fire out of your hands strong enough to almost take down like Iron Man. You could be a superhero, dude. But
Yep,
his hubris, like we were talking about when we went on our Mysterio rant, his hubris is vengeance, is revenge.
Yeah.
So he shoots fire at one. There's a whole bunch of dynamite on the outside of a dam. And I'm like, is there no security? It's kind of like the Stark facility. It only shows 3 people. Like
Yep.
Redhead, Jimmy, and Tony. And I'm like, does anyone else work here? So you like cut costs by just having Homer and like those 3 do everything. And
It's like that episode of Star Trek: The Next Generation where members of the crew keep disappearing, and the only person on the ship who remembers any of them is Beverly. And everyone's just acting like she's crazy throughout the entire episode because she's like,
I haven't seen that in such a long time. Yeah.
She's like, there are over 1,100 people aboard the Enterprise, and they're like, there are 132 people aboard the Enterprise. She's like, you can't even operate a ship like this with that amount of people. Of course you can. That's how we've always done it. And then eventually, toward
they're
the
just
end,
being affected. Yeah.
toward the end of the episode, it's literally just Beverly and Picard. And she's like, let me guess, it's just been me and you, like, exploring the galaxy for the past, like, number of years alone in this giant starship. And he's like,
operating everything ourselves.
Of course. We have automated systems to take care of the rest of it for us. Maybe that's what's going on
Stark.
here.
I think that's Stark Industries here. Mysterion is
Good
there
episode
should
of
be a
TNG.
Mysterion.
One of the best.
I should rewatch TNG.
You should.
I haven't watched it in like 15. Oh, God, I'm old. 20 years.
Sometimes I will, if I just don't have anything, like, if I just don't feel like watching anything else, sometimes I'll just, like, bring up Paramount Plus and put on TNG. And I'll get so into it, I'll usually end up watching, like, 2, 3, 4 episodes back to back.
That's what I should do. Just put it on for fun and then see where the momentum takes me.
And then just get into it, yeah.
Yeah.
I'd start with season 3.
There's a side plot that I skipped over that doesn't really matter, that I'm not sure why happens. I think it's to showcase that the suit can run out of power and he hasn't recharged it long enough. He saves a bunch of like power plant workers. Randomly, like flies out and he's like, get out of here, and like stops like an oil drum from crushing them, and they're like, oh my God, Iron Man, are you dead? And he like crawls out of the fire.
Oh, right,
yeah. And they're like, and then he's like, go on, get out of here. And he's like, but Iron Man, we can't because of the gas. And they point at like nothing, and then he uses his chest beam to shoot at the fire and it doesn't do anything, and they go, thanks, Iron Man, and they run through the fire to safety. And I'm like, what just happened?
That sounds like an animation error.
I don't know what.
I must have missed that.
Yeah, they're like, but the gas. And so he shoots his like chest laser and they're like, thanks. And then they just leave this like nothing changed. I don't know. Anyways, what happens here is pretty funny. He shoots one of the dynamites with fire. I'm pretty sure this is not how dynamite works, but he shoots one of the dynamites with fire, exploding it. And then the explosion makes the other dynamite all blow up and the dam breaks.
Yeah. Ironic that a guy called Firebrand's plan is to flood the city.
A tale of fire and water. Fire and rain, I mean. Well,
so the episode is called Fire and Water, I believe. Or
Fire and Rain, or
Fire and Rain, yeah.
Yeah. Which is weird because it doesn't rain in the...
Doesn't rain.
So what we're saying is... the Avatar movie stole the idea from this episode of Iron Man.
It's the villain was borrowed by Spider-Man Far From Home.
Mm-hmm. So there's a flood and they're fighting, and both of their suits malfunction for different reasons. Iron Man runs out of power.
Yeah.
Firebrand's suit malfunctions because debris or one of the shots or something Iron Man did knocks out his jetpack. and they
Oh,
both
that is
fall into the
okay.
water.
That is so fucking. I'm glad I forgot about that. That is so fucking
Yeah.
stupid that I laughed out loud.
You remember that?
During one of the explosions, like a bunch of rocks come up behind Firebrand as he's standing on the edge of a cliff, and one rock hits his backpack and knocks a hole in it, and he's like, "Ah!"
And then spirals
yeah,
down into the water.
it's the stupidest looking thing. It's literally like a rock just hitting his backpack. Like not even like a rock like the size
Is
of a
that what it was? It
baseball.
was a rock.
It
Yeah.
was a rock, yeah. It was a rock like the size of a baseball. Just hits like the lower part of his backpack and like blows a hole in it.
So Iron Man goes in after him, and he's like, divert power to water adaptation. And it's like low energy, no energy. And he's like, huh, this is a new look. As the HUD like fades and it just shows water starting to pile in through the eyes.
Yeah.
The first person thing, they don't do it a lot, but they do show things from their perspective sometimes. And now that I'm watching this, I understand where the Iron Man movies got at least part of the idea from. But they kind of do it as a weird like 3D of Robert Downey Jr.'s face interacting with like a magical HUD while he's in a black void.
That is from the comics. I used to read Iron Man comics growing up. That is from the comics.
Kind of like showing his perspective. Okay,
yeah.
okay.
And also like the close-up face thing. It looks different. They definitely like they made it more
Made
like
it their own.
They made it like more like fancy and high-tech looking in
Yeah.
the movies, but that is something you would see in the comics.
Yeah. And so that I thought that was neat. I also thought it was neat that like the eye holes aren't sealed. Because
Yeah.
it's like shows water coming in and he's like, ruh-roh. Sure could use Rhodey right
He's
about
like,
now.
Rhodey, Jimmy, where are you?
Jimmy, where are you? And so it shows War Machine finally catching up. And
he's going through some PTSD in this episode. Not only for like his like brother like drowning, but also like him almost drowning at the beginning.
But like
beginning
he
of the
almost
episode.
drowned, so he couldn't save someone else very close to him from drowning, and then he almost drowned. And he doesn't know. He's like, no, I can't. Like again, there's more adult storytelling in this than I was expecting.
Yeah.
And I'm like, Jesus Christ, man. And then he's like, no, I gotta do it. Doesn't matter. And he's like, aqua mode, like activated. And he flies down, grabs both of them.
And pulls them out of the water.
Pulls them out of the water. And you're thinking, oh, the episode's over. Nay, there's still the flood. So apparently they can fly faster than the flood is happening, which I find funny.
Here's my favorite like one-liner in the entire episode is when Rhodey pulls, because Rhodey was taking a while because he was hesitating. When Rhodey pulls Tony out of the water, Tony says, he's like, "Oh, there you are. Thought you went to a movie or something." And Rhodey says in response, "I've seen all the good ones."
I've seen all the good ones. That just, even if there's only like 3 good interactions in the show, that feels good. Like that like single line back and forth. Oh, geez, I wondered where you were. I thought you went to the movies or something. I've seen all the good ones.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah,
Meanwhile,
that was
it shows
a good back and forth.
They're like, okay, well, we're not done yet. We got the bad guy, but those neighborhoods are going to get flooded. And so they put him on like a crane hook. Big old flood. Master Chief, we have to deal with the flood.
You've only got one shot. I know. Well, what if you miss? I won't. Where are you going? To give the Covenant back their bomb.
And
I've been playing that Halo remake.
Master Chief flies in from orbit. So they go, and there's like a bunch of infrastructure, an overpass that's like not finished. And War Machine, while they're flying, there's like a nanotube connected to Iron Man, and he reroutes a bunch of power into Iron Man suit. He's like, oh, thanks for the fill up. And he's like, no problem. Now you were ready to deal with this. And they shoot the bridge. It falls down and it reroutes most of the deluge, most of the water, presumably, hopefully, to a canyon that goes away from the neighborhoods that the water was going to destroy. My favorite is, just like a lot of other comics, is the normal police show up, put this guy with presumably still functioning super tech in handcuffs, and he's like, I'll kill you, Iron Man. You think they can hold me? And I'm like, clearly not. You can shoot like plasma beams and fire out of your like fucking suit, and they didn't disarm you. And they put him in handcuffs, put him in the back of a squad car, and then it lingers on this, a single cop drives him off into like the distance. And I'm like, this is why your bad guys get away all the time. There's one cop in a single fucking car, and you just put like a dude that can like shoot fire hot enough to almost take down Iron Man. What do you think like a dude in a car is going to do against him?
Right. They do address this in the comics.
Oh,
yeah. In the comics, villains like this are usually taken away by S.H.I.E.L.D. and put into the Raft, which is a prison specifically designed for people with superpowers.
Yeah. Or that have unusual genius and can like hack things, and extremely dangerous supervillain types.
I don't know if the Raft has been shown in the MCU. Oh no, it has. It was in it was in that's where Tony and Cap fight at the end of Captain America Civil War, I think.
Is
it? They fight at the Raft.
I haven't watched that in such a long time.
Yeah, neither have I. I don't think I've watched it since it came out, honestly, so like 10 years ago now.
So to wrap up the episode, they're back at home. They're like, all right, this is like we did all this. It was hard, but look at her go. And it shows Jimmy and Tony watching like a press release. And redhead lady is being like, oh, thanks to the efforts of Iron Man and War Machine, we were able to reroute the dams like water, and we saved like this many lives and blah blah blah. And so they're turning it into positive press. And it's like, oh, next time, like we'll make sure. And then Rhodey's like, well, that's the thing, there ain't gonna be a next time.
And he says something along the lines of, he's like, you may have to fly around in that iron coffin to keep yourself alive, but I don't.
But I don't.
I can't do it anymore, man. I'll support you from down here, but you can't ask me to put that thing on ever again. It was a surprisingly like serious like moment in this.
And even Tony is like, hey, hang on, and he's like, well, see you around, or like whatever. And he's just like left like standing there.
And it's like Tony doesn't get to talk him out of it or anything.
Nope. He just like leaves, and he's like, what, really? You're just done? And then it's like over, and I'm like, oh shit. And then we get a little snippet, and kudos to making me want to keep watching the show. We get a little snippet of a weird green guy getting whipped by a desert man.
It is.
Who may or may not have like, like the head wrap. It was the 90s, folks. And this desert man, there's a camel in tent, and he's like, carry that, I don't know, stuff. And there's a little green gremlin guy, and he's like, oh yes, of course. And it cuts to the nighttime, where off camera it shows the guy being killed.
Yeah.
And it shows this like green kind of like guy with like the beard and everything stealing a horse after killing his master, his slaver. And he's like, this won't be the last time you've heard of from the Mandarin.
Yeah, you missed the most important detail in the scene, is the guy who was whipping him. It focused on the fact that he was wearing a big ass ring on his finger.
I'm right.
And then after the guy is killed, it shows his hand again, and the ring is gone, and then we see that the green guy, the Mandarin, is wearing the ring.
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh,
We got
wait a second.
got a bit of a story arc going on here.
We got something going on here. So, Siege, you just watched a completely random, definitely not planned episode of 1994's Iron Man.
That's right.
Would you tune in next week?
I would.
You would?
I would. Yes.
You would.
I will. I watched the next episode right after it.
I was very I should have just watched it. Yeah, I feel like there's no need to like summarize my thoughts. There's a few like goofy things and like weird like Rhodey bullying. And weird like leaps in logic, like enhance and then go and puts Firebrand's face over like his dad's face, and they're like, it's a match. And I'm like,
it's
okay.
a leap. There's some leaps in logics on the level of the 1960s Batman movie where they're like reading a riddle and he's like, what sits in a tree and is dangerous? And Robin is like, a sparrow with a machine gun. And Batman's like, of course.
A sparrow with a...
It's leaps in logic like on that level.
You know what? Kind of. Yeah. Except instead of comedically, it's trying to like, because the 1960s Batman is quite clearly trying to be like it's comedically
it's
stupid.
Yeah.
It's campy. It's supposed to be. In this, it's not nodding to the camera with how like silly it is. It's trying to impress the 10-year-olds watching with future technological terms. I'll hack past the mainframe and got it. I'm in.
Yeah.
But it's a little it's not unforgivable.
No.
Yeah. It just, the leaps of logic are really, really out there. I love how they just have like their own in-house AI and they have access to a picture of Firebrand's son, or sorry, like their employees like son. But like this is before social media, or like how'd they get his picture? They just had Homer like digitally like create what he would look like. But here's the thing, it doesn't help them find him. Like, it doesn't matter who he is, they still bust him without knowing who he is. So
but now we know his motivation.
But now we know his motivation. Yeah. And that's right.
And isn't that the most important knowledge of all?
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So there you go. We will both check out Iron Man next week.
Next time. We tune in.
Speaking of next week, next time, Iron Man.
That was episode 159 of the Blockbrothers show. If you want to support us, go to patreon.com/lazorcomb, LAZORCOMB. Starting at the $5 tier, you get our weekly-ish exclusive Patreon podcast, the Cal and Siege Super Show. $10 tier, you get that. You get the occasional commentary track and the ability to pick a show for us to review a random episode of on this podcast. So if you want to get in on that, go to patreon.com/lasercomb. Best way to interact with us is to join the Discord. If you haven't already, there's a link in the description of this and every other episode of the podcast. Also, check out our other show, Too Much Energon. We've recorded a few episodes of that recently.
Yeah, we've moved on very recently to Beast Wars Neo.
Yes.
We're just a few episodes like into that. So there's a great time to...
We're 10 episodes into that now. So that's a good time to jump back into Too Much Energon.
Hell yeah.
We will be back next week with episode 160 of the Blockbrothers show, where we're going to be talking about the 1994 Fantastic Four cartoon, also part of the Marvel Action Hour. Now, to figure out what episode of that we are going to watch, I'm going to hit screen share. I'm going to share the screen. I'm going to
share the screen.
Share the screen.
There we go.
The screen is shared. All right. I hate it when this happens. The drop down for Zoom always ends up hovering in the same spot where like the
I
tabs are.
know.
I fucking hate it. It drives me insane. So the Fantastic Four cartoon had how many episodes overall? 13 plus 26, 39. 39. Now I'm gonna one episode between 1 and 39 at the old random number generator. As mentioned, as with Iron Man, I'm going to roll until I get a season 2 episode.
We want to
And
go out. We want to present. Here we go.
I hit the wrong button. Here we go. It's spinning. Come on, big money, no whammies. 12. A season 1 episode. Let's go again.
No, he could put random numbers between 14 and 39, but that's less fun.
I could. 16.
Oh,
That is a part 2. Oh, that's another rule on this show. We don't do multi-parters. We used to.
Yeah.
We don't anymore.
yeah. Now we just re-roll whenever we get like a part 1 of 2 or part 2 of 2.
You know what? I'm going to do random numbers between 14 and 39.
Holy shit. He's doing it.
34.
34. Oh,
Wait, what episode?
wait
would
a
that be?
second. It only goes to 20. And then there's what? Crossovers
Oh, wait.
after that?
Never mind. Wait, no, I'm just dumb. My math is wrong. 14 and 30.
You guys,
26.
this is what this is what you get when we're live here.
26.
Holy shit. Doomsday?
Sure, it's the final episode of the series, but sure. Let's do it.
Oh shit.
I was kind of hoping we would land on 14 because that episode has Daredevil in it.
Oh really?
Yeah. I'm like, oh, wouldn't that be fun? But oh well, Doomsday it is. Doctor Doom in this show, at least in season 2 anyway, is voiced by Simon Templeman.
Simon Templeman.
Kane himself.
Mr. Kane himself.
Legacy of Kane. Not
sorry.
Not weird Republican libertarian
You're
WWE Kane.
talking about WWE Kane.
No, I'm talking about Kane from Legacy of Kane, Simon Templeman. Yeah, he voices Doctor Doom in the Fantastic Four cartoon. So looking forward to that. And anyway, if you want to hear us talk about Fantastic Four,
Brothers himself.
check us out next week. And until then, I've been Christopher Siege, one of your hosts.
And I'm Neo Cal, your other host.
Thanks for listening. We will man your irons next time.
Okay, that's not so bad. I'm okay with manning your irons. We'll iron your mans next time.
We will iron your pants, even.
Yeah, that's if Iron Man was not a billionaire. Iron Pants. Wait, no, there's already a movie on that. It's called Real Steel.
Isn't that Rock'em Sock'em Robots? Starring Wolverine?
Starring Mr. Wolverine himself.
Are there iron pants in that movie? I don't know. If you're watching the
Wait, that
video,
was a Rock'em Sock'em Robots
if you're watching this
movie.
on YouTube, leave a comments. Leave a message in the comments.
I'm thinking of Steel with
tell us if
Shaquille
there-
O'Neal.
Tell us if there were iron pants in Real Steel, the Rock'em Sock'em Robots movie, or the 1997 Shaquille O'Neal film Steel. I'd love to do a commentary track of that on Patreon.
So
sometime.
would I. I remember really liking that.
Me too.
When I was 13.
when I was 12, I liked Steel. Anyway, bye-bye.